The 7 things I'm going to mention in this video are the ones which will determine whether you'll get a visa or not once you visit that embassy. And these are some of the things which have led people to be denied the visa at the embassy, and it's because they do not know these are very, very essential. So if this is something you want to hear, make sure that you listen to this video to the end so that you understand. And next time when you go to an embassy, you have all these things in your hands, so that you increase your chances of being selected or being given that visa. So if you are new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe. Don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Ask your questions in the comment section so that later on I can come down and answer them in the comment section. So thank you very much for being with me. Make sure that you also watch other videos in this channel, because a lot of information has been shared, and some of them we cannot repeat. So let's dive in. The first thing is that you need to have what we call a travel history. Before you seek a visit visa, for example, for Canada, ensure that you have a history of visiting other countries, maybe in your region, in other continents, and this increases greatly your chances of being given a visa for the country you want to visit. Mostly for visit visas and student visas, and what we call generally non-immigrant visa. So make sure that you have a copy of your passport, and make sure that you get a copy of the page which has stamps, those are entry and exit stamps for the different countries you visited in your lifetime. So make sure that your history in those countries is okay, because you'll also need to provide a police clearance for those countries. If you've gotten a study visa, for example, to a country like let's say Romania, and you want to apply for a visit visa to another country, maybe for Canada, the US, make sure that you present these entry and exit stamps while applying for a visa in this visit visa in this second country. So travel history can mean that you've visited countries also in Africa. Maybe for people in Africa, in East Africa, you can visit Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and you can go all the way to South Africa, and make sure that all those countries you've gotten stamps, entry and exit stamps anytime you get into those countries. The second thing which I'm going to talk about, and this is another very important item if you are planning to visit another country. I know most people do not know about this one, but it's very, very important. So it's called itinerary. My pronunciation might be a problem, but it's called itinerary. This means it's a plan. It's a plan of your visit. What have you planned to do during your visit? This is very, very important, because the visa officer, even the border control officer, might ask you, what is your plan once you visit this country, or what is your itinerary? And they might not explicitly ask or directly ask this question, but it needs to be inside your story. So this can be if in form of what we call flight details. Maybe you have booked a flight already. Maybe, for example, you are attending a conference in Canada, and you know the date of the conference is maybe in the next 2 months. You might book a flight already. You might have an hotel reservation, which again, there are so many hotels you can book online, including booking through booking.com and other platforms which are online, whereby you can book and do reservations for your flight, or for your hotel, or for your Airbnb. Depends which one is comfortable for you. The other thing which can go a long way in showing that you have a plan or an itinerary is what we call an event registration. So let's say, for example, you want to visit Canada so that you attend a conference. It's prudent for you to have what we call an event registration. You've already paid for a conference and you've been invited. Just make sure that this is in your documents, and you can use it if you attend an interview, because it goes a long way. You can also submit it together with a visa application form, so that it increases your chance. The third thing which I want to talk about is a bank statement. Bank statement is another very, very important document. So let's say, for example, you want to visit Canada for 2 weeks. You need to have a bank statement with the amount of money which can sustain you in Canada for 2 weeks. And you need to, this is information you can search online, and I do not have the correct figures, but you can search online to know the amount of money, the exact amount of money which you need to have for 2 weeks, for maybe 2 people if you are visiting as a group of 2 or 3 people. Also, if you are one person, you can also search that amount of money. And this bank account should be for at least 6 months. So if you are going to your bank, make sure that they give you a bank statement, which again is for a duration of 6 months. I hope you understand what I mean. And this should have sufficient funds again to support your stay. The period you be depends the period, the length of time you'll be in that country. So make sure that the bank statement is yours, has your name, and also it is stamped and it's printed in the letterhead of the financial institution or bank where you bank your money. For those people asking whether they can use their mobile money M-Pesa statements, I would say that it's better for you to also have what we call a business account. Business account, maybe you have an account registered under yourself. Make sure that you print out these mobile money statement, and make sure that it is stamped and it's authentic, because they also know how to check the bank statement so that it's not fraudulent. Also, if you are going to another country for what you call for study visa, you can use your parents' bank statement. You can use your relatives' bank statement, but the biggest strength is your parents or your own bank statement. The fourth item you'll need is what we call employer information. So let's say, for example, you have a job, and this is only for people who have a job. If you do not have a job, you can have other documents to explain yourself, to explain. These are things which give more strength for your application. So, if you are not employed by maybe a company or a government entity, you need to have a letter explaining, an introduction letter explaining that you are employed by such and such a company, and you have a permanent job. This is your salary. This is the date of employment. This is the date of writing this letter, because the letter again should not be longer than should not have been written for longer or for more than 3 months. So should be within a duration of 3 months. Maybe if you want to visit Canada, if your interview is in the next 2 months, make sure that the letter is the date of the writing of the letter is within that timeline. Also make sure that the letter explicitly mentions all the details about yourself when you're employed, your designation, and all the information about yourself, including your name, and generally confirming that you are an employee of this company or government entity, and you have been, for example, given a leave, or you've been given authorization to travel outside the country. And this goes a long way into adding more weight into your application, and the visa officer will be let me say the chances of getting the visa, or the visa officer giving your visa, increase greatly because of these things which you present. And again, don't forget, the visa officer, before they ask you for any document, if you are attending an interview, maybe for the US, don't give out this document until the visa officer asks you specifically for a certain document. Don't lump together documents just have them in a folder maybe, and when the visa officer asks you for this document, that is when you give them this document. The fifth point is the identity document. If you apply for a visit visa, it's prudent to also have a certain form of identity document. And the most recognized identity document is your passport. Your international travel passport, copy of it. I know there are passports for certain countries which are not acceptable. For example, passports issued by countries like Somalia, they are not acceptable for Canada at least. But you can there are workarounds to that. You can present your alien certificate. You can present your refugee card if you are a refugee in another country. All those things are acceptable, because there are so many people who are stateless. You can also present that document, the one you've given in the state you are in, because there is a way the international organization, the IOM, goes around that to give those people a document. The sixth item you need to have is if you are using a representative, maybe the person who is filling the form is your brother. There is a form for Canada you need to fill, which is called a use of representative form. Make sure that this is included together in your application, because If you do not include that in the application, it means that you've done a fraudulent activity. So at least if you are using someone, make sure that you fill that form and include it together. The seventh thing, and the last thing is a form which is called the authority to release personal information. So the Canadian government, the immigration body, the IRCC, you give them the authority to release your personal information to other parties whereby they get more information about yourself. Uh, so you sign a form. It's a kind of a consent whereby you consent that you have given the IRCC the rights, or you've given the right to share your personal information, including your date of birth, including your names, including the bank statement, including all these things I've talked about in this video. They can share it with the other organization, other embassies, so that they confirm whether all this information you give them is correct. But basically, those are basic items. You can add others. It depends with your case. Depends with your case. You can add other documents or information which might add more weight into your case. But basically, these are the basic, and the minimum documents you should have if you're applying for a visa, and more so an immigrant, or what people call a visit visa or a student visa in Canada. And sometimes all these issues, all these things or documents also apply for the US. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to watch another video which I'm going to attach here so that you get to understand the things we do in this channel. Thank you.